So we are going to talk about few points in today's session. That what is Python, what are the use of Python, and we'll be going to compare Python to other languages. Who uses Python? I'll give you a quick product demo on Python, and then we will have a quick questionnaire round. So what exactly Python is? We must have heard that Python is a programming language, and it's a very easy to learn programming language. So as I've told you that if you have a programming background, that would be an advantage for you to work on Python. Even if you don't have any programming background, and if you are from any other technologies and you are planning to switch on to programming part, so this would be the easiest language to work on as comparative to other programming languages, because in this we can create a very in this we can write very strong programs by using very few lines of codes. We'll do the comparison of Python with other programming languages as well in later slides. So what is Python first of all? So what is a Python? Python is a set of language for beginners. As you can see, the very first line says it's a language for beginners. And what do I mean by beginners? Because what happens is whenever anyone decided to start his career for programming language, so the very first language comes in mind is C++ or Java. But as you know, in Java we have to write a lot of commands. In C++ we need to write a lot of commands. Whereas in Python, by writing very few lines of code, very few syntaxes, we can create a very rich program. So it's very easy to learn and very easy to maintain. And any issues, whenever any error occurs or any debug, if we have to debug the Python program, Python code, that would be easier to debug as comparative to other programming languages. And it's an interpreted, object-oriented, high-level programming language with dynamic semantics. So all the functionalities which we used to have in Java or C++ or C Sharp, so similar kind of functionalities we have in Python as well. We have all the OOPS concept which we used to have in Java. Same we have the same OOPS concept we can implement in Python as well. So it's a high-level built-in data structure programming language with combined with semantic types and dynamic binding, which makes Python a very attractive for rapid application development. As I've already mentioned that Python is very easy, Python is simple, easy to learn. So therefore, it reduces the cost of program maintenance. The main concern about programmer is that whenever they used to write a program, they build a code, they write a code, and if any error occurs, so if a program is small, it would be easy. It would be easy manageable. But if a program is big and a lot of modules are included in that, a lot of modules are incorporated and they are associated with each other, then it would be a very difficult task. I mean, I'm not saying that it's not possible. It's possible, but it will take some time. It will take long time. It depends on the number of modules, and as the number of module increases and as the line of codes increases, the program the to maintain the debugging of programs become little complicated, little difficult. Whereas in Python, because everything can means we can write a code by very few lines of code by using by few lines of code, it would be easy to manage, and therefore it reduces the cost of program maintenance. Python supports modules, Python supports packages, and by what are the advantage of using modules and packages? The program reusability, the code reusability. The Python interpreter and the extensive standard libraries are available in source or binary form without charges for all major platforms and can be freely distributed. So Python has the biggest strength. The Python biggest strength is the bulk of its library is portable. The libraries which are available, which are used to write codes, which are used to write build programs. Okay, so those libraries are portable. We can quickly import all those libraries into into the system, into the machine where we are going to use that, Python code. It's also support GUI programming. So in Python, Python also supports GUI programming. So by using Python, we can build GUI programs, or we can build forms as well. We can design forms, and it can be used to create application which can be portable on Mac, Windows, Unix, and X Windows system. It's dynamic, open source programming language with a focus on simplicity and productivity. So Python is said to be relatively easy to learn and portable because the libraries, the packages, the program, it can be interpreted in any number of operating system. It's an open source programming language, so the code is freely available and open for modification and reuse. And because of this, Python has got a significant number of users. And it was developed in 1991. So Python comes into the picture in 1991, and since then, Python has become very popular. Sometimes the people used to say that Python is an old language. Yes, definitely Python is an old language. You can see it comes into the market in 1991, so it's almost more than 20 years, right? But still Python is gaining popularity. So now Python is again gaining popularity because of its code reusability, and a lot of libraries are comes into the picture, the portable libraries, and there are huge libraries which would be useful for data analysis, to connect with, basically to do the data mining with big data. Okay, and even in scientific purpose as well we can use Python. There are a few more facts about Python. That Python is an interpreter based language. What do I mean by interpreter based language? That the processing will be done at runtime by the interpreter, and it interprets line by line. So we do not need to compile the program before executing it. So it is something similar to Perl and PHP. It is designed to be easy to learn and master because the syntaxes are very clean and clear. By using very few keywords, we can write a rich code, and it uses indentation. So like in Java or in other programming languages, we used to have brackets. We use brackets to specify the indentation to start a block. Whereas in Python, we use indentation to start blocks. So for specifying the block delimiters, instead of using brackets, square brackets or curly brackets or any kind of brackets, instead of them, we use indentation. So this is the most notable feature of Python, that it's indenting of source statement to make the code easier to read. It is highly portable, so it can run on almost anywhere. It can run on anywhere, like on high-end server and even on small workstations as well. Python offers dynamic data type, ready-made classes and interfaces to many system calls and libraries, and it can be extended using C, C++, and Java as well. I forgot to mention Java here, but it can be extended. It is extensible, so we can incorporate the C++, Java, or C libraries into Python. So for them, we have packages. We have different packages for incorporating C functionalities. We have Python. For incorporating Java functionalities, we have Jython. So by using them, we can incorporate them into Python, and we can use them to implement the functionality, to add the functionalities of Java or C++ into Python. So Python can be used as a script in ASP pages as well. Python can be used for web applications, for web programming as well. So we can add low-level modules to the Python interpreter, and these modules enable programmers to add to or to customize their tools to be more efficient. So this is highly extensible programming language. Let's talk about the features of Python, quick features. So first, these are the features. It's a high level programming language, easy to learn, easy to read. And because Python uses English keywords, okay, Python uses English keywords frequently, whereas the other languages, they use punctuations. And Python has got fewer syntactical constructions than other languages. So it's easy to learn. Because of that, it's easy to learn, easy to read, and easy to maintain. So this allows students to pick up the language quickly. Python has got broad standard libraries for every different purpose. They have got a standard libraries, and we need to import those libraries. We need to install those libraries or packages in Python to use them. For example, if I want to perform data analysis, if I want to perform data visualization, so the package they have got inbuilt libraries. But let's suppose if I want to go for a 3D chart, I want to build some uh, I want to add some 3D chart, or if I want to go for GUI programming. So for them, we need to install the libraries, we need to install the packages. And to install libraries and packages, we can simply go to the command prompt, and there we can simply pass a command pip install and the function name. So it's pretty easy. We don't have to write any big lines of code. We don't have to add any additional function. We don't have to do any additional functionality for adding for installing packages, for adding a new package into Python. That can be done very quickly, simply by passing a single line of code. We'll be going to see that how to add the libraries. And Python supports database connectivity as well. Let's suppose I have got my data, and my data resides on some database. Now data could be in any format, because as you know that nowadays the companies, they are not confined to a specific data format. Maybe some of my data is stored in Excel sheets, some of my data is stored in a notepad, few of my data is stored in structured data in SQL Server. And the one of the most common used platform nowadays is cloud solution. Okay, and let's suppose I have got my few of my data stored in my CRM solution. So Python can be connected to almost all kind of database. Only thing is, we need to install the packages, we need to install the libraries for them. Okay, and then once the connectivity is done, we can extract the data, we can pull the data from different source of databases, and then then import into Python, and then we can visualize that data. GUI programming. Python supports GUI programming. uh, GUI programming in terms of, we can design forms, we can use Python as a front end as well. Okay, so not only command prompt, we can use Python, we can design forms, and we can implement the actions on the buttons. Like we can design a form with a button, and I want that when I click on that button, a visualization will occur. Okay, so that kind of functionality is possible with GUI programming. And it is scalable. Scalable means it provides a better structure and supports for and large programs than shell scripting. So it's scalable in terms of, Python has got huge libraries. Okay, so we can divide the huge programs into modules. Okay, so and also basically scalable means scaling in terms of scaling. So basically, let's suppose I have got a Python code and a huge number of and that I'm using Python program for web application or a GUI programming, and lot of the n numbers of users, they are accessing my application. So Python can manage that, Python can handle that automatically. So it's just, we don't have to take care of that, it will be taken care by itself. Okay, so that's the scalable programming. But so that's how the Python supports scalable programming. So it can support a huge number of means huge number of audience. So apart from the above mentioned features, Python has a big list of good features. And for example, it supports functional and structured programming method as well as OOPs. It can be used as a scripting language or compiled to bytecode for building large applications. It provides high-level dynamic data types. Python supports automatic garbage collection. This is another feature of Python, garbage collection. Like whenever any in garbage collection, like if any module or if any variable which has not been used for a long time, and because everything resides in the memory, and if it has not been used for a since long time, so it would automatically release the memory. Python will automatically release the memory. Right. And it can be easily integrated with C, C++, COM, ActiveX, Corba, and Java. So integration part is pretty easy. Like Python can be integrated with Facebook, Python can be integrated with CRM solutions, Python can be integrated with Java, Python can be integrated with C++, and so on. So integration part is pretty, and even Python can be integrated with BI solutions as well. Like if you visit my YouTube library, if there I have integrated Python with BI tools like ClickView or Tableau. I have done integration with them as well. So I have used the Python functionality in ClickView or in Tableau. So integration is possible with Python. And what else can be Python used? Basically, where in what areas Python can be used? So Python can be used for system administration. Python can be used in GUI programming, web applications, database applications. Python could be mainly used in scientific application for doing data analysis, to perform the data analysis or data visualization on big data. And Python can also be used to build games, to create games, and to build Android app development. So these are the areas where Python can be used. Now, if I talk about the Python, or if we compare Python to other languages, like we have Perl, C++, JavaScript, Java, or Smalltalk. So let's have a look. Uh, if we comparing Python to other languages, so basically in comparing Python with C++, the functionality is different. The functionality would be same, but the implementation would be different. Okay, like the mainly the difference between the difference is the syntactical difference. The major difference will be the syntactical difference. So just have a let's have a look that how can we write the programs. If I write a program, if I write a code, if I simple want to print a message in Fortran or C language or in Python, so how it looks like. So let's take an example here. For example, in Fortran, I just wanted to print a message, hello world. But if you see, to simple to print a message, we need to start with program, end program, and then use a print statement. So the three statements are used. Three statements are need to be published, need to be deployed. And if the indentation goes wrong, or if anything goes wrong, if we miss this or if we miss this, this will throw error message. Similar to C, in C language, first of all we need to include the library. In C++ the library is not required, but in C language the library is required. And in Java also the library is not in Java also library is not required, but in Java we need to define in a class, in a main function, right? So as you can see here, we have in C language we need to specify around 4 to 5 lines, whereas in Python only a single statement would work. A simple write print hello world, and that would work. Let's have a look how it works. So I'll show you practically this as well. It's pretty easy. And how can we use it? Let's have a look. Let me open that. So I'll just start my Python. So for Python, I have got a, so Python can be we can execute Python code by using shell, ideally shell. There is a interactive shell. Either we can use it or we can run it from a command prompt as well. Like I have already installed Python, so I simple type a command Python and see that the Python interpreters open, and I simple write hello world, which should go within brackets. Simple. Or I can use a print statement, print hello world. Simple, it will give me hello world. Or I can do like this, print 1 plus 2. I got the output 3. Right, it's pretty simple. We don't have to include any library, we don't have to install any package for this, we don't have to write huge, means we don't need to start or end or write any brackets and all. Like in this, in C, if I miss this bracket, definitely this will not work if we have multiple lines of code. Okay, whereas in Python this does not happen, we can simply type it. Or what we can do is, if you are not comfortable with this, we can go with GUI, we can go for GUI, we can start Python GUI shell. Okay, ideally shell, and we can use that as well. So let me start that shell. So for this, first of all, we need to install a library, we need to install uh, Python on our system. So for that, so it's a free source, it's freely available. So from internet we can, from internet we can download Python freely. And now if I just wanted to print a message, I write print hello world. Okay, so it's a basically this ideally shell, color formatted it's a color formatted interpreter basically, and this can be used in this. Ideally we can simply specify the means we can simply write our commands, and the indentation will go on. For example, I was talking about indentation. So let's suppose I'm going to write a loop, so write I is equal to 0. See, I did not specify any data type and all. I simply create a variable I is equal to 0 while I less than 10, and print I plus I is equal to I plus 1. That's all, and we need to save it and run it. So as you can see here, as soon as I run it, execute it, I got the output hello world and 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So with very few syntaxes we can execute it. So that's the Python shell I was talking about. That's the GUI shell about ideally. So that's the ideally, it's a Python integrated development environment. It's a shell, and this shell can be used to we can say that this is the graphical format. This is the graphical format of that command prompt. So either you can use similar command we can execute in similar similar command we can use here, and same thing we can do here. Okay, another way of executing another way of running the Python code is IPython. Like I got a question from an audience that or from a candidate, he wants to know IPython. So IPython is also a different kind of interpreter, and okay, so it's basically in Python, and we need to install IPython is basically, it's an online scripting, so it will run on the browser from your local host, and to execute that, to install it, simple, we need to write IPython. I write IPython and I write notebook. So it gives me an online interface. It executes on a browser, right? And from here we can write our, means from here we can create a libraries, we can upload new Python scripts if we want, or we can create a new text file or a folder or a Python file, and we can execute, we can refresh it. The file which we created just now, we can have a look that as well, right? Or if I want to create a new one, we can have this. So I want to create a new Python 2, and this will help us to quickly execute it. So I simple write print hello world and run it. Hello. So we can save this, save and checkpoint. We can insert cell below. So there are few options can be done. So basically, it's an online kernel, Jupyter. This is from a Jupyter. This is IPython is from Jupyter, and this can be used online. In your it runs at the local host. Yes, it can be compiled to an exe. For that, we need to use packages to compile as an exe. First of all, we need to convert them into an exe, and then we need to run it. That's possible. I think there is a video on my YouTube channel. So in our YouTube channel, so in that I have mentioned that how to compile a Python code by using exe. Right. So basically, IPython is an interactive shell which is built by the Python, right? And it's used online. It runs on a browser. Basically, it's a web-based interpreter. We can say that it's a web-based interpreter, and it supports the interactive data visualization, and it uses the GUI toolkit. So it uses the inbuilt GUI toolkits like the Python which we have installed here on our desktop. If you want to use it, if you want to use any GUI program in this Python on our desktop, we need to install the packages. We need to install the library. Whereas in IPython, it has got pre-installed packages. We do not need to install it. We can simply use it. That's the difference, right? And it's pretty simple how to install a package on desktop on a desktop version. Simple by using pip install, and let's suppose pygil. So it's a simple any package which is required. So we can simply pass a command pip install pygil, because this is already satisfied on my system. This already installed on my system. So it says requirement already satisfied, pygil in C plus and this one. Right? So that's the difference between Python and IPython, and that's the difference between the that's the syntactical difference between that's the syntactical difference between the Fortran, C, and Python. Now, who all are using Python in industry, and who all are using Python and for what purpose? So as you can see here, Python is used by different organizations. By even YouTube is also using Python. YouTube is using uh, for to help the searching videos and all. Battlefield is for games. NASA is using for they are using NASA is using for data analysis. Google is using to implement to enhance these search capabilities. Okay, so there are a lot of users of Python. So so these are the companies, these are the world topmost brand. They are using Python in industries. So as I told you about ideally development environment. So what is ideally? It's nothing. It's interactive. Basically, it is an interactive development environment shell. So it's a shell for interactive evolution, and it's a text editor with color coding and smart indenting for creating Python files. Because in command prompt, we need to explicitly specify the indentation, whereas in ideally, the indentation will be done automatically. Okay. So, and it's a menu command for changing system settings on running file. So we'll be going to use IDL in our regular session because that is interactive shell. So we'll be going to use both IDL and IPython. And to install a package, to install any library in our system on our desktop, that time we'll use command prompt by using pip install. Now to upgrade a package, so it's showing a message here how to upgrade a package. See, we need to use this hyphen hyphen upgrade to upgrade this one. We need to use this upgrade hyphen hyphen upgrade. Sorry, this one. Use hyphen hyphen upgrade and Python. This is how we can upgrade a package. Right. Yes, we need to install the specific packages for GUI programming, because the inbuilt libraries which are available for GUI, we need to go for Tkinter. We need a Tkinter package for GUI programming. So we'll be requiring the Tkinter one. Let me show you that my interface where I have got all my packages installed. So let me show you that first of all. One second. So uh, I have installed Python, and you see I have got all my libraries and packages, side packages, lib and side package. So these are the packages I have installed in my system. Like IPython, we need to install IPython as well initially, and like I have got for matplotlib, numpy, right, notebook, pandas, and pygel, right, and I was talking about Tkinter. Django is a web application programming interface for designing to design web applications using Python. So we need to use for Django, right? And we have Tkinter as well, Tkinter files. So Tkinter files basically used for for Windows programming, for GUI programming, right? So we go for Tkinter, right? Okay. So let's see an example. How can we create any program? How can we, if I simply want to print a bar chart or any chart in Python, how we can do that? Simple one, very easy one. Okay, and for that, or if you want to go for uh, let's say I just wanted to print a message. I just wanted to print a GUI application by using Python. So how we can do that? For that, we need to install Tkinter. I have already installed my Tkinter. We can just check whether Tkinter is working or not. Tkinter is there or not. So we can simply write import Tkinter. It should be Tkinter. Sorry, from Tkinter import. I think you can't see. Okay, one second. I'm just showing. So I just write from Tkinter import star, and root is equal to pk. Right. So from Tkinter import star, or if you just wanted to make sure whether this Tkinter installed or not, so I'll go to my command prompt and a simple type a message. I'll just get to the Python and I write import Tkinter. See this, I'm not getting any error message. It means the Tkinter package has been successfully installed. It's already installed on my system, so I do not need to install it again. So for to work on any package in Python, first of all you can simply pass the command import and the package name. If that package does not exist, it will throw an error message, and if that package exists, it will do nothing. It will simply give you a message like this. It means it will not show anything, but it means it will not throw any error message. So see, there is no message, there is no error message coming. So it means that package has successfully installed on my system. And then I install everything. Means I from Tkinter import star means it will import all the libraries. It will import all the modules which are available into this package, into this Tkinter library. And root is equal to tk w dot label is equal to w is equal to label, and it will say it will satisfy this root, and I said the text is equal to welcome to BISP. This will add a label actually, and w dot pack and root dot main loop, and let's execute it. See this. So I got a message here. welcome to BSP. It's a label. This one, it's a label. So it's add a label. Similar to that, we can add buttons. We can add command. We can add text box. We can add a text box to get the input from the user, and then we can perform actions on the those buttons. Okay, so I have added a button, means I have added this. If I just wanted to add a button, and when I click on that button, I want to perform some action. So how to do that? For that, basically performing action means we would be calling a function on that. So what I'm doing is I'm creating a function here first, and this function I would be going to call when we click on button. So on click, and tk Tkinter dot message box dot show info, something like title goes here, so I'll say message box comma, and you click button, and then root is equal to tk, and then I create a button is equal to you can change it as well, means it will work for both. This one, button is equal to button, it will connect with root comma text is equal to click me, and command on just hold for 1 second. Right, sorry. So right, so where were we? We were writing, okay, tkinter.messagebox.show info. Or let's do one thing, I'll just add tkinter.tk. That would be fine. That's so in this case we do not need to use this import star. We can simple write, you can, so I'm just telling you the different ways of importing the libraries. I can go for import tkinter, and excuse me, tkinter.messagebox.showinfo root is equal to tkinter.tk. Then here we'll go tkinter dot button and command click, and then I write here button dot pack and root main. So let's save and execute it. Okay, unexpected indentation. Okay, one thing you need to be very careful, the indentation. For example, this should always go in first line. If I give indentation here, I give some spaces, and when I try to execute it, it will throw an error message. There is an error program, unexpected indent. So this indentation would be an issue. So we need to take care of that. If whenever indentation is required, then only we will be going to give that. Otherwise, it will throw error message. Def on click. Definitely, it would be a function. Text command. It should be command is equal to message box. No, so message box Tkinter dot show. One second, we'll see that I'm getting one error here in this message. I think this will not go with this. It's not working. I think they changed it. Okay, so I need to update my package. Anyway, so this how means for example, when I click on this button, it's showing me an error message. I'll just show you that when I execute it, when I run it.